Hey John, good to see you on a Friday. Thanks for coming back down to Greenville. I know it's a little bit of a drive for you and it's pretty hot, so I appreciate you coming down. Good luck with the practice. I'm pretty positive that what we've done here, or what we did on Friday, will help you a bunch and get you going back in the right direction. So we haven't, we obviously had a direction that we're going in with you, and this is kind of going back to getting you back to that point. Beyond that, so firstly, right now I'm going to discuss what it was that we did in our last lesson. Then I'm also going to add some in with what vision I have for you and other things that you can work on to get better. So just as far as today, as far as Friday went, what we worked on, obviously this setup here, we've already discussed having your stance a bit more shut off, which is something I think that you'll just need to have. The reason for that is just because the way your legs are. When you finish your swing, once your weight back on your left side through impact. So we can see here, I'd be worried about this left foot forward like this for most people, because when they get to the top of their backswing, the weight gets a long way on their left side. For you, it's not. For you, everything's dead level. So that tells me that this left foot being forward, right foot being back is really helping you, not hurting you. So the rest of the swing. Now we can see in the takeaway here that the club head gets a bit under here at the start, then it loops a bit back over on the top of the backswing. Next, it doesn't loop that much over, it actually stays laid off. And that laid off position is primarily happening because of what's happening in your right arm, right hand, which we discussed. The palm of your right hand is looking back towards you too much, where the palm of your right hand needs to be back away from you. So the next thing was the energy. If we look at the golf swing in different ways, there's different ways to think about it. And one of the ways that I like to think about it is that your hands here are holding and managing the energy in your golf swing with your golf club. So at the top of your backswing, the energy that you have ends up being too high. Now, if we look at the angle this is moved on, that angle between here and here is too upright. Okay, it's too much of a straight angle. Now, you're already a tall guy. Now, I know for me personally, I have this same dilemma as well. There's different things that we battle with as tall guys compared to people of a different stature. So this is where I'd like to get your club at the top. So we have a flatter angle coming back down. Now, the feeling that you talked about was that your top of your backswing felt like it was putting the club back in the car park. So everything was flatter, more behind you and flatter. So the right palm facing away was number one. And the right hand needs to work and control that motion. The left hand's obviously going to be there involved as well, but your right hand's in so much more of a powerful position. Your left hand doesn't really have a chance to control or change what's happening with your club entirely, with your entire motion. So one was the hand motion and where it was moving. Two was the motion of your of controlling the energy and the energy of the club working back more behind you. So three main things should happen. We should have the overall plane of your swing a bit flatter and shallower, the face of the club a lot more square rather than open, and the shaft of the club more down the line rather than laying off. So from that position there, those three things more that way, you should be in a position where you can just go ahead and hit it a lot harder. So we watch what happens here on the downswing, which we talked about this during the lesson as well. The motion, this is byproducts for the things that we want to change with your swing. These are going to be some byproducts, some things that will change without you trying to change them. So if we watch the takeaway here now, everything in the backswing, your head comes up a little bit, and then from there it also stands up even further. So you've actually come up from the height that you started, you've actually raised up about 3.5, 4 inches in total. So if we look at the top of the backswing, yet again, we're talking about energy and controlling energy. So if your energy is up here high, well, that means that the center of your mass, which is about kind of the middle of our torso, if you're swinging the energy of the club up high, well, the likelihood is that the mass of your, the mass of your body is going to lift up with it, because it's just everything's being lifted. It's harder for it to stay down when your arms are going so high. So we get your arms going back flatter, and it's going to make it much easier for the energy that you're controlling in your hands to not lift up Now from there, additionally, if we're back here with your hands down low, maybe not quite that low, but in that direction, on the way down, your energy with your body is actually inclined to move towards the ground and towards the ball on the way down. Now when you're up high with this energy, the upright swing, it's too steep, so you have to stand up out of it. So your body actually moves up and out of the way of it a whole bunch more. So you lose compression, you lose distance, you lose one of your bigger power sources in your body's ability to compress and control a downswing by being more on top of the ball. So your hands at impact here are really, really upright. So we want your hands to be fully extended, but not fully extended before they get to the ball. So you can see where your club head is here coming in, and that club head's 2 degrees upright at the moment, and you can see the sole of the club there. It's actually it's towed down a lot. So at impact, we want to try and see your body more over the ground this way, your arms more down this way, and the shaft of the club more here, rather than having everything, your body up and out and the club shaft in one straight line. So how does that happen? Well, it's actually really quite simple. It's already going to happen with what we're doing. So when you swing the club back flatter, you're controlling the energy in your hands, and you move it back flatter, put it back in the parking lot, like what you say, straight away on the downswing you're going to have to get a lot more over the ground to make contact. So we're already going in that direction without you even trying to do anything. It's just going to happen. The one thing to be mindful of is that you will be hitting more shots off the heel. If you hit the occasional shank shot, that's fine. I don't mind you standing a little bit further away from the ball. One thing we will need to do in the future is flatten out those clubs some. Those clubs are a bit too upright for you. A degree or so, maybe 2 degrees, we'll go flatter in the future. Right now they match. So what we want to expose them, and the way to expose them is by getting some draw shots happening. That was pretty much what we talked about with your irons. The only other thing that we talked about was controlling the draw, because this motion now, that compared to where you were, is the new motion is going to be much more of a draw swing. So when the club comes through, that flip motion through impact here will be exposed more with this swing than what it has been with the old swing. That flip there has had to happen and had to become more exaggerated to actually get the ball to go straight. Obviously, more flip, less power, less compression on the ball. So the clubs that will expose that are your longer clubs, 3-wood, driver, probably more so with driver than anything, because on a tee. So really simply, all we discussed was the handle end of the club, this grip end here within your hands, and trying to get it to swing more square through down the line with the handle, rather than having it come up too abruptly, too quickly here. So we want to try and get that handle end pushing down the line more, but we can see here, if you look at the pole behind your head, there's a little bit of back movement there as well. So that back movement is to allow the face of the club to square. So yet again, if we can get that handle swinging more down the line, it's going to control the face of the club better and have it swing more squarely through, and it's going to encourage your head movement not to back up off the ball as well. Okay, good to see you, John. Good luck with the practice, and let me know how it goes. All the best.